Mark Pluimer is from Covenant CRC in Appleton. We've had a few people on from Covenant, and we've had Mark on once before, so you can find that episode for Mark's history in the Classis. But Pastor Mark, share a little bit about what's happened at Covenant CRC.
Yeah, good to be with you again, and yeah, we're kind of in the this is kind of busy season, I guess, like everybody else, with Thanksgiving coming up and Advent and then Christmas and everything. But things are going well at our church. We hired an associate pastor, which I think did you have Ben on?
Ben was on Classis Wisconsin Weekly before even his first Classis meeting. So if you want up to the minute Classis information, this is the place.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's great. So yeah, we hired Ben in August, like the beginning of August, and it's been great to have him. He's been doing a great job, and it's been just a blessing to our ministry. So he's been doing a lot with the youth group and with worship and discipleship, and so it's just been kind of a great new chapter, a new season of ministry for us to be partnered together and doing ministry together, and so far it's been great. It's really a blessing to have him on board, and it's been cool to see what God is doing so far, and I'm just really excited to see what God has in store for our partnership together. So yeah, that's kind of.
Ben shared a sermon at the last Classis meeting. As the start of his commissioned pastor examination, I guess, and he did an amazing job. I mean, gifted speaker and obviously knowledgeable CRC through and through. So seems like
really solid guy, and so it's like I said, it's been great to have him on board with us, and very excited about that for sure. Yeah.
Do you have kind of real special services Thanksgiving and through Advent?
Yeah, so we have traditionally we do a Thanksgiving Eve service, so the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, and I've asked Ben to plan that service this year, so that's been great too, but it's I really like that service because it's kind of a little bit more liturgical typically, so we have responsive readings and just a lot of different types of prayers of Thanksgiving. So we often use psalms of praise throughout the service, a lot of singing, and we always celebrate communion. And we do communion because it's usually a little bit lower, not as well attended service, and so a little smaller numbers. And so we have kind of a more intimate method of celebrating communion. We kind of form small groups around the table, and just one group at a time. We gather around the table and break bread and drink the juice together, and then the next group comes up and we're singing songs while we do that. So I really like that. It's a real intimate feel to it. And then the other thing I really like about our Thanksgiving service is every year we have just open testimony time, and just to hear from the congregation, like their testimonies of praise and thanksgiving, to hear what God is doing, and those are always really, really powerful and moving. And so yeah, that's kind of a highlight for me. I really enjoy that service. And we usually do for Advent, we do light Advent candles, and do Advent readings. I probably most of the time I do an Advent sermon series. Sometimes if we're in the midst of a sermon series and I think it fits well enough, I'll just keep going through with the same series. But I usually try to take a little break and do an Advent sermon series as well. So yeah, we celebrate, and then we do a Christmas Eve service, so lots of those good things coming up. So
as a service planner, I always am really bothered that World Hunger falls where it does, because you get 4 weeks of World Hunger, Thanksgiving service, 4 weeks of Advent, Christmas service, and then we haven't the last couple of years, but traditionally I've had a New Year's Day service, and so you just have like special services with a special element every week that you got to coordinate. And it's like, just give us a break. We could do
Yeah,
World Hunger anytime. Why does it have
right.
to
I
be right
know.
now? But I love World Hunger,
Yeah.
and that's great too. So,
Yeah, I agree. It is hard to, I mean, to coordinate and plan. I mean, and this time of year, like it starts now, and you finally get to catch your breath,
yeah,
like in the middle of January or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
So yeah.
You said that sometimes you'll pause a sermon series and focus on kind of the Advent themes. Are you in a
Yeah,
sermon series right now?
I am. Yeah. So I started trying to think when it was. I think it was June or July. So I'm preaching through the book of Romans. I've never preached through Romans before, and so I've really enjoyed my study. I mean, it's heavy, it's dense, but it's super rich. And so right now I'm almost done with chapter 3. So it's been, kind of slow going, I guess. Some texts are, shorter than others. Some pericopes are longer than others, so we've been working our way expository verse by verse through the book of Romans, and so far I've really enjoyed my study of it, and so it's been good, challenging and rich, deep, but really good.
How
Yeah.
long do you anticipate that series lasting? You'll take a break
Um,
through the Advent series and then
yeah,
revisit.
I'll take a break for Advent and probably for Lent. And I mean, it'll be a couple years for sure, with those breaks in
Sure.
there.
Yeah.
There was I shared with my congregation a little satirical article about a Reformed pastor who it took 47 years to preach the book of Romans. And
So you've
so
at least got that beat. Yeah.
yeah, so I said we won't take that long for sure. It will
So the
we'll
timeline
get it.
is less than 47 years.
It's less than 47
Okay.
years for sure.
I heard
Yeah.
something today, and you can reflect on this. I had a professor tell me today that he gave a Hebrew translation of Romans, so the book of Romans in Hebrew,
Huh.
to his students, and they all said, "Yep, this is Isaiah."
Wow.
I don't know why, if the major themes are similar,
Huh.
but I don't know if you have any reflection on that.
That's really interesting. I mean, yeah. I mean, I just even the concept of translating Romans into Hebrew. I mean, I think I can see. Well, for one, I mean, Paul quotes the Old Testament
Mm,
a lot, and so there's a lot I mean, there's a lot of Old Testament language and imagery and themes, covenant themes, and that are woven throughout the book of Romans. And so from that standpoint, I can see that. But I do think too the themes of redemption. I mean, that's a huge theme in Isaiah, and it's a huge theme in Romans. And
mm.
so salvation, that's another thing that I think you see kind of the both themes both in Isaiah and Romans as well. And so that the idea of God's deliverance, his redemption, his salvation, I can see how if you would translate Romans into Hebrew, it would look a little bit like Isaiah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
It was interesting. It just caught my attention today. Anyways, we
Yeah.
could be praying for Covenant CRC or for you.
Um, just keep praying for us as we're, still in the early stages of associate pastor with Ben, and so like I said, so far it's going great, and really super thankful to have him, and just pray for God's blessings on that, as continued provisions as we kind of chart our way forward, and doing ministry together, and just pray for fruitfulness and faithfulness as we strive to be faithful servants of Christ and his kingdom. That's a big thing. We got a number of health concerns, I guess, like either unusual or more serious kinds of health concerns in the life of the church, and so those are difficult, and so to be in prayer for that would be much appreciated. But yeah, those are those are the other thing I would say is, we've so we have this partnership with a Congolese congregation, and so we had done that several years ago, and then it kind of with COVID it fell through, and that team at that time and that fellowship, that group that was meeting, kind of disintegrated, and now a new team, a new leadership team, and a new fellowship has come in and kind of taken the place of that one, and so just prayers for wisdom as we want to build bridges. We want to partner with them well. We want to keep finding ways to kind of integrate and do more together, I think. And there's lots of opportunities, tons of opportunities to serve and to partner with them and to build relationships with them and everything. And so that's a pretty new and exciting thing on our plate as well. So prayers for that we can walk faithfully and fruitfully in that partnership would be great. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing, Mark, and thanks for your time today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. This is always good.